What's up, everyone? Welcome to the SML Show presented by Yamaha Motors. Today I'm joined by Jalek Swoll of the, what's the official name? 511 Triumph Racing?
Yeah, I think it's 511 Triumph Racing, or Triumph Factory Racing.
Factory. Got to the factory.
Yeah,
right?
got it to the factory, and yeah.
Dude, so obviously you're here under, bummer circumstances because you're injured, right?
Yeah.
But, I mean, before we started taping, I'm asking him, like, how long you out? You going to race? You know, because we know you come back off the couch and bust out a podium or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was talking to Chase before you got here, and I'm like, dude, what's the latest on him? And he said, when you posted about your second Achilles, that you had originally said, like, I might be done, or you're all emo, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first one came out of nowhere, obviously, and that was like a shock to everybody. And then I come back in outdoors, and that was on a crunch time. I had like a week on the bike, or a week and a half or something like that. And then we went racing or whatever. Had some good races, ran up front, top fives, podium at Red Bud. And then at the end of outdoors, like I felt something was wrong with my calf, and I went back in and got an MRI, and it turned out that I had re-tore it before I even got to the bike. So when the surgeon had got in and looked at it, he was like, oh, it's great. Like, it's been like this for a while. Okay. So I must have tore it before I even started riding, which is like super unnatural too. Like, that normally doesn't happen.
So wait, the calf tore was the same leg?
I thought it was my calf because I was having like calf pains, I guess.
Yeah.
And went and got an MRI, and they're like, no, it's actually coming from your Achilles. So we got a revision. That revision was in, I think, August. So that had like led me into Supercross this year. Same boat, like a week and a half of prep, and then had to go race. And I think Supercross I kind of underestimated it, I guess. Like, I knew it was going to be hard. Like, showing up without prep is going to be hard no matter what. But Supercross was definitely harder to just jump into than outdoors. The breathing and the heart rate and all that stuff is pretty gnarly on a Supercross track compared to like outdoors, big jumps, long straights. You can take a good amount of breathing in. So that leaves me with where I'm at now. I got to Birmingham, which is where I feel like I was more myself. That was 3 weeks of racing in, so it was starting to look a lot better. I don't know, I'm not a practice dude, and Birmingham, like, when I felt good, felt normal. I was P3 in qualifying before I did my other side, and the only people that were in front of me, I think, was Levi and Deeg. So I was in the mix, you know.
Yeah. So let me ask you this, because big difference here, variance here, but like my youngest daughter was high-level soccer player, and she blew out her ACL playing on AstroTurf, right? Like, made a wrong turn, got that fixed, came back and was like, oh, the college dream's over.
Yep.
Whatever. I'll just play for fun. High school team. Started getting good again, talking to schools, blew out her other ACL. And there's some statistic that, like, for female soccer players, if you blow out one, the chances of you blowing out the other one are super high because you're compensating for it even when you're better and everything.
Yeah.
Anything like that
related,
no, you think?
100%. That's kind of what the surgeon was saying. He was like, yeah, this is crazy. You know, like, when you look at it from, you know, the outside looking in, you're at 3 surgeries now without crashing. And so he was like, but it is not that it's normal, but it's not uncommon to see, you know, the other side go. And for me, in my situation, like, dealing with a not good, I guess, recovery my first time around, getting a revision, that's 2 surgeries on one side. That meant I spent a year on this side, you know what I mean? And all that stress and all the time that I put on it just had to give at some point. And unfortunately, it was this year at the races.
So explain the whole Achilles thing to me. Like, it's like the first time you did it, did you case out and overextend it and snap?
The first one was a lot like Tomax, when he did the first one, when he was leading that championship, I came over a rhythm and I got into the pocket and it just happened. It wasn't like a big pocket or anything. It was actually the starter jump of a rhythm. Came over a table, and when I landed, I felt like my foot had hit the dirt. And when I landed, like I felt like the initial like that was weird, like it was a sting, you know. It was kind of like a dead leg in a way. And I was super confused. I'm like, dude, why was I not like Supermaning through the air? Like I feel like my foot just hit the ground.
Yeah.
And I pull off the track or whatever. I handed my bike to our team manager, Scuba, and our team trainer, Mike Brown. They were both sitting there, and like I was literally, I got off my bike. I was doing like calf raises. I was just kept trying to figure out what happened. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like, dude, why does my foot feel like this? And I was doing everything that like they say you can't do. So I was kind of, I guess I was just a little bit delusional. You know, I was like, no, it's nothing. It's nothing. Yeah, I'm fine. Went back to the shop. I was like, I don't know, let's just go get checked out or whatever. Got undressed, drove myself home, walked up the stairs, took a shower, put clothes on, went to the doctor, like everything like normal. Like I had a limp, but it wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't thinking that I was out. You know what I mean? Yeah. Got to the doctor's office, and they have this test that they do where they squeeze your calf. They're like, hey, lay on your stomach. They squeeze your calf, and your foot's supposed to just like flop instantly, just like a big pop. And they squeezed it, and my foot literally just did not move, just dead. And they're like, yeah, it's your Achilles, and you're out. Oh, shit. And I was like sitting there, and it was a wave of emotions, because the first dude who I must have been a PA or something, he came in and he checked, and he's like, oh no, your foot's kind of moving. And then like the real doctor came in, and he squeezed one time, literally walked in, did it, didn't move, and he's like, yeah, you're done. And I was just like in shock, you know?
No way.
Because I think a lot of the dudes will tell you from the team, when asked about like that off season was unreal for me. Like
the thing I remember is your post when you talked about it. You're like, y'all are lucky I would have fucked you up.
Yeah. I mean, but that's how I was feeling. Like I had such a good off season, and that was coming off of, you know, I had raced the whole season in 2024, and it was a constant build. Yeah, I missed the last 2 SMX rounds, but I made the whole year. You know, like I did all the Supercross, all the outdoors. I got to off season and built on it. And that season is when we had Smitty and Forkner get signed. So I had like good teammates to compare myself to. So I knew where I was, and yeah, it was an unreal off season.
So it snaps and it like goes, it's like a shades on a window, right? It goes.
Yeah.
It goes up in your
I've
calf?
been fortunate enough to where mine hasn't rolled all the way up, because like when you normally do your Achilles, it snaps and it does what you're talking about, like a rubber band just rolls all the way up your calf, and that's when things get kind of technical for the surgery side.
Yeah.
I've at least been able to snap mine and it somewhat staying put, and instead of rolling all the way up, it kind of just is like this, you know?
And then they sew it together.
Yeah, go sew it together. And this time actually, since, you know, I did my revision in Georgia. The first one that I actually did, I went to Vail, same dude as Tomac. Yeah, what happened with that. So, and then I did a revision in Georgia, because at that point I was like, dude, I just spent a ton of my own money going back and forth to Vail. Like literally every time I needed a checkup, I would have to fly to Vail. Dude, it was unreal. So, so I was like, screw it, I'm gonna just do it Georgia. I found a good surgeon in Georgia, and he did my revision, and it was awesome. Like this was a really good experience for me. And then when the Birmingham deal had happened, my bad Achilles held up. So it took the same impact as my good one that went away. So I was like, well, we did something right. Went back to him. This time he's like, dude, since you're back again, he's like, I'm gonna do something that like I'm gonna do for you, and it's gonna be not the first time, but it's like this is like an athlete thing. He's like, I'm gonna do the normal procedure, and then he added an extra layer of reinforcement like in the middle of my Achilles. So now knock on wood, I feel like we got a good grasp on it, and hopefully the bad luck has ran out and I can kind of, go forward with my career and hopefully never have to look back at this time,
Let's hope so. We're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors. Back for more.
I'm Eli Tomac, and I choose OGO.
I'm Cooper Webb.
I'm Malcolm Stewart.
RJ Hampshire.
I'm Josh Moda, and I choose Ojo.
I'm Aaron Plessinger.
What's up, guys? I'm Hunter Lawrence.
My name's Jet Lawrence. I'm Hayden Deegan, and I choose OGO.
Hello and welcome back to the SML Show presented by Yamaha Motors. All right, so Achilles is fixed up.
Yeah.
You have the special works brace on there.
Yeah.
What can you do now, like until it's time to ride? Like training-wise, I'm sure you're still doing stuff.
Yeah.
Staying
Yeah,
fit.
I've just been working. Honestly, it was about 4 or 5 days after surgery is when I got out of my emo phase and was like, all right, back to work, and
you went back.
Got back to the gym. Yeah, got back to the gym. I think about the 3-week mark, I started just swimming, kind of like relentlessly, like every day I was swimming, because it's a good form of cardio, and that's really the only thing that I can do at the moment. So I've been doing that. Now that I'm back walking and without a boot, I think about a week and a half I'll start easing back into trying to get back on a road bike and start really getting back to it.
When you get on a road bike, are you nervous about clipping in and unclipping and all that?
I think I'll start without a clip first. I'll probably do a flat pedal for a little bit, and then when my calf starts to rebuild and my foot starts to get a little bit more sturdy, then I'll clip in and then start kind of working.
How are the
from there.
calves? Are they all skinny right now?
Yeah, my calf
like
is pretty
Scrub Daddy
skinny.
calves?
Yeah, it's not as skinny as the first one that I had done. My first one was like I would look down, and I'm like, dude, it's like a skeleton, bro. Yeah. But now, yeah, it's definitely bigger on the normal side than it is right now, but way less than like normal. And I don't know if that's just from doing everything way quicker now with the procedure that we had done. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, the procedure that he had, it's called a super pars and a speed bridge. That's what I did. And it pretty much cuts a whole month off of the normal recovery time. So I'm doing everything a lot earlier than normal at a safe pace, obviously. But yeah, it's been pretty awesome for me, because like normally you're just stagnant and you can't do anything for so long, and that's when the mental games start. You know what I mean? When you're just like sitting there and watching the races, and how it goes. But now I'm active. I'm like doing everything really early, and it keeps me busy. It keeps my mind working.
Yeah. Did you do anything to protect your Achilles, like those peg saver?
No.
What are they calling those funny foot pegs?
Nope, I didn't. But this time I am, because I'm like, at this point, I ain't taking any more risk with the thing. I'll do whatever it takes. So
ankle savers. That's what
we've been working. I forget the name of the company, but yeah, I am working with a company right now, getting like some custom ankle saver type foot pegs, and so I'll have that. I got the double done, so I'm double strong in both. And we're pretty much at the point where we're leaving like no stone unturned. Like we're just going to do everything and learn from it, just kind of keep going.
Do you know my older brother Ross? I don't know if you know him. He did his Achilles at a race once.
Yeah.
As a vet guy, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, dude, I gotta keep riding. And so he used to do Enzo racing in the shop, but he also had Berg racing, which is a carbon fiber brace.
Yeah.
So I remember he made this weird carbon fiber brace that went down the back of his calf and into the footbed so his boot wouldn't bend.
Yeah, yeah.
So he just kept riding, like even right after he got his surgery.
No, that's great. If you don't do a full rupture, I could see how you could get away with it for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I did through outdoors last year. So you definitely can do it, but yeah, when you do like a full rupture, like you feel it. Like in Birmingham, it was a finish line left, on a table, onto the next table, off. And in that pocket, like it was real dugout. It was way more bellied than like normal just from all the bikes. And when I got into it, I felt it. I landed from the triple.
Did you know right away?
Oh yeah.
Same thing.
Oh yeah. I knew instantly. So like I landed and mentally I was like, no way. You know what I mean? I was like, no way that it's the other side now. This is literally unbelievable. Go over the roller and then it was a double. And I went over the roller. And when I was standing trying to just feel it, just to like double down, like, is that what I just felt? Yeah. And I went over that single and it felt like my toes were on the pegs and it felt like my foot could just drop, like could just fall. So that like unsturdy feeling or whatever, I just knew. And I remember like rolling back to mechanics area, like took like a long, slow lap, come back to the mechanics area. And my mechanic ran over and Scuba ran over. And they're like, what's going on? Because this was like right away in the second qualifying. And I'm like, let's just go back. Like,
you didn't want to say
it. I couldn't even, I don't know. There's just so much work put into like coming back. And then to go into Supercross knowing that, around round 4, round 5, I'll be normal. And then, I can really start to be myself. Like struggling through the first rounds, not getting results where I know I should be and can be. So like biting the bullet and just getting through those rounds like with the mindset of like I'm gonna just show up and everybody's gonna be like, where'd this come from? You know what I mean? But the plan was set in place and it was kind of working, and Birmingham like had that good qualifying and everything was going what we had thought. Yeah. And to like just do it without being able to like knock off the results that like I feel were coming, like hard pill to swallow for sure.
And then a injury that doesn't come with a crash is extra frustrating, right?
Yeah, I mean it's like I still get the trolls on Instagram. They're like, oh, crasher, and it's like, bro, I have not crashed and gotten an injury in like literally now a whole year and a half, 2 years. Now I feel like I've smoothed out. I've gotten faster. I've gotten smarter, and now I'm like getting injured without even crashes. I'm like, it's so hard to wrap my head around. But at the end of the day, now that we got both done, I'm like, at least it's over. Yeah.
All right. No more injury talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Triumph, dude, because you were the first factory rider on the team. You and Little Red Dog, right? In 24.
Yeah.
Was it exciting? Was it scary? Was it nerve-wracking to be on this brand new bike? Like, did you get to test it before you signed, or?
No, I didn't get to test. I just signed it, and I was coming off of I struggled with the new Austrian bike, so
the new frame.
Yeah, the new frame. I struggled with that. I didn't feel like I could do what I was capable of doing on it just from my struggles. Like, I feel like if you're a bigger dude, you could make it work or whatever, but the way I rode it just didn't work for me. So in that off season, like, it was an opportunity to reunite with Bobby Hewitt and Scuba Westfall, and like those were the dudes that brought me up through amateurs, through everything. Like, I signed with Bobby Hewitt and Scuba when I was like 13. So to reunite with them, I was like, it's just kind of a no-brainer. Like, that's a good move for me. I can go be comfortable with people who know how to get me comfortable and going, and I signed it. Just signed it. No, didn't have to ride it. I was like, I trust these dudes enough to do what we need to do,
Yeah, a lot to be said for that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
They can just trust them
Yeah.
that they'll get you there.
Yeah.
So, one more quick break. Back for more. Everyone, welcome back to the SML Show presented by Yamaha Motors. Okay, so I remember the first time I rode the Triumph wasn't until our shootout, right? We didn't get to spend any time on it before. I remember getting on it, and like in the past, your Austrian bikes were way different feeling than Japanese bikes. So I used to say, okay, on a shootout, ride the 3 European bikes and then the Japanese bikes, or vice versa.
Yeah.
Because it was hard to go from KTM to Honda and back to Husky.
Yeah.
But anyway, I remember when I got on the Triumph, I was like, I feel like I've ridden this bike before. It felt real familiar, even though it was a brand new bike.
Yeah.
Did you have that feeling when you got on? Was it easy adaptation?
No, but not in a bad way. I had come from only riding Austrian bikes my whole life, so for me, it was definitely different because I had never ridden another frame like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a little bit of an adjustment period, but it didn't take long. I got pretty comfortable pretty quickly, and I felt like that change up from the frame that I was kind of struggling on was just good for me and my career at the time. Like I got on it, I got comfortable pretty quick, and that was just riding a stock bike. Like I rode the stock bike first, which is something that like you don't often get to do. So it's pretty sick to just go and like ride like just the bones of the bike, you know what I mean, and figure out like what it likes, what it does, and then go forward. And so for me, it was perfect. Like never got to do that, so it was perfect for me because it also allowed me to, I guess, learn like the testing side of things. Because at that same time, Tedesco ended up blowing his knee out or something like that, and he was our test dude. So I was the only dude really to be able to do anything on the thing. So like I did most of the testing and I learned a lot. I feel like I got better as a rider just learning what I wanted out of the thing. And no, it was awesome. And then obviously having Scuba and at that time Drew Hopkins doing the suspension, like it was, I feel like it was pretty easy to get what I wanted out of the bike.
So I know that the very first year, when parts were scarce, et cetera, there was some growing pains there.
Yeah.
But then there's 25. Is 25 just like so much better as far as getting things set up? And
it's so that for me was kind of when I started struggling the most because for me, like I did the whole 2024, parts and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, we got kind of what we wanted. There were some other things that we were waiting for 2025, but for the most part, I feel like I was able to kind of get what I wanted. And I feel like it showed through Supercross and outdoors in 2024. Like I feel like we started the year and we were good, we were okay, we were competitive.
Yeah.
Dude,
you got so many hole shots, it seemed like.
Yeah.
It seemed like you're always up front.
Yeah, I'm just a good starter. That's kind of been one of the pros for myself, you know what I mean, my biggest attributes. And so first year, like I got a lot of good starts. I ran up front. And I feel like at the end of each series is when I started like coming to my own. Like we started clicking with the bike and the team and everything started to go to course. That was when me and Hammaker had the get together in Philly for second or whatever. And then on outdoors, the end of that year, I was consistently knocking off like top fives, and then I got the first podium for Triumph. So everything was starting to go the course. And when 2025 had happened, like everything was all good. But when I did my Achilles and I came back, there's a lot of things that those other dudes started to like figure out with the bike and start kind of elevating where we were. And so I had to come back in and figure out what I didn't like or did like from the time that I got hurt to the time that I was coming back.
It's not like coming back and going, oh, the bike's way better now. Thanks,
Yes.
guys. Because they like different shit. Right?
Yes. So you got Austin, who likes different stuff from Jordan, and Jordan, who likes different stuff from him. And then I just had to figure out the middle ground, because both of those dudes had done two completely different things with their bikes. And I was just trying to figure out like what I liked from each thing. So for me, it was a little bit of an adjustment coming back, and then I started to figure out, and then that's when I had Red Bud. Red Bud had to happen, and I was kind of just consistently up front until the revision.
Yeah. Okay, so where do you go from now? Like, is your contract up at the end of this year?
Yeah.
So you're a guy who's got incredible speed. You're popular with the fans and everything. You have good following. Speak well. You represent your sponsors well. And it's obvious you can come back from an injury and bam, get right back.
Yeah.
Are you stressing right now at all? Or are you just like, yeah, someone pick me up, or you have the option to stay?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely stressful. I've never been in a position where I was out of a contract and really didn't like get to do something to show like, you know what I mean, that I was capable. Yeah, I appreciate that you said it, because I think a lot of people, I mean, in this sport, it's like all about what you see and what's in front of you at that very moment. And now that I'm not in people's eyes, like it's easy to forget, you know? But yeah, I do feel like I can come back from injury and just get right back to it. The only part that I guess stresses me out a little bit is like, I had the right mindset in Supercross in like not going over my head, just doing the rounds, and then getting to round 4, round 5, where, you know, the riding laps were going to catch up, you know, finally. And I just didn't get to do what I needed to do, you know what I mean, before the injury. So it's a little bit stressful, but like at the end of the day, like coming into Supercross with 9 days of Supercross, and then having a race like, I think Indy, where like I was popping off whole shots like back to back to back, and running up front, leading laps, and I was leading laps with no time, you know what I mean? And that to me is like, I guess the flashes that I think should solidify to people that like, okay, yeah, there is something there. Like he's not just a wash. And even coming back from an Achilles and getting a podium at Red Bud, like stuff like that. Like I feel like I can just jump back in and be good right away. But at this point, like I told you when I first had walked in, like I've always come back to racing like the past year and a half or whatever. Anytime someone has seen me, it's been on a week and a half of prep. Like I know what I can do. It just comes down to getting the time, you know, like when I came into Supercross, I had 9 days. These dudes had 4 months, you know what I mean? Like it's a lot. It's a lot of time missed. So for me right now, it's just about getting healthy and doing what I can do. Cause I feel like I'm in a position now where mentally and like physically and just how I am just in general, like with the bike and everything, like as a rider, I feel like I'm more than capable of going out and winning right now. I truly believe that. And I know it's going to happen, but it just comes down to actually giving myself a fair shot, you know?
Yeah. What's it like mentally being out and then coming back and knowing the speed you have and knowing what you can do, but having to be careful and ease into it? Like, is that tough? Like,
it's more annoying than anything, you know, because I was like, I'm going through these Supercross rounds or even qualifying, like I'm struggling to get that quick twitch that like you get when you just have the laps, you know? So I'm like, I struggle in qualifying, which never really got to me mentally because I don't feel like I'm a good practice guy anyway. But you go to the race and I'm riding, maybe I'm sitting down a little bit more than what I would want to, and I'm doing different things to ride and keep myself just out there because I don't have the laps to really push all the way through, you know? So I catch myself like battling with people that I feel like I shouldn't be around, like no disrespect, but I feel like I'm in that top group, and I thought mentally I was proud of myself because in years past I would have just gone out and full sent it and who knows what would have happened, but I was smart, I was doing the right thing, you know, I was just building back into it, and I really feel like if I didn't do my Achilles in Birmingham, I would have been up there. I would have been on the box, or at least fighting for the box. I would have gotten whole shots, so I would have started up front. I would have been up front. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's the bummer part of it. And in this sport, you know, like the contracts are hard to come by. There's not many seats. So for me, yeah, I'm in a position that's not great to be in 100%. I don't want to be sitting here with no real results on the year, hoping somebody gives me a shot. But that's where I'm at, and it is what it is. You know, I find a little bit of calmness in the fact of the work that I've been putting in to get back, and what I've been able to do with no prep and just off the couch, essentially. You know, like I've been able to always be competitive without the time. So I feel like with the time, all things will work out for sure.
Yeah. Okay, we're out of time, but just in closing, there is a chance you might hit the last 3 nationals if you need to.
Yeah, there's a
kind
chance.
of just say, yo, I'm here, look at my potential.
Yeah, there's a chance for sure. Depending on if I need to or not. The racer in me wants to be back, so I'm going to train to be back.
Yeah.
But it depends on how the contract stuff goes as well. Like if I get a good ride and some people that believe in me and they're like, hey, like we want you for next year, like go get healthy. That's what I'm going to do 100%. I feel like I owe it to myself to give myself a fair shot in a boot camp and come in like everybody else and really do it. So that's what I want to do. But yeah, I'm prepared to come back if I need to, and I'm training like I'm coming back.
Nice. All right, on. I mean, I'm on the outside, but I have no doubt you're going to get a ride because you're hugely talented, and I think you definitely have the work ethic.
Yeah.
You can do it. So
yeah, no, I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming by and spending time with us on the show. I think this is your second.
Yeah, second
show,
time.
or?
First time I think was like 2021.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while.
So anyway, guys, thanks for checking out the SML Show presented by Yamaha. Be sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week.